So yes, today with Charlotte we'll present you, in fact, the implementation of tranSMART we have done, or we are currently doing in Sanofi R&D. So in fact, tranSMART is in fact one part of the translational medicine for patients program we have currently in construction in Sanofi, and this is what we call the data hub for this translational medicine platform. Okay. So in fact here we will focus in fact on the what we call the RC1 of tranSMART, so the release candidate 1. So the project tranSMART has been started 1.5 years in Sanofi through a pilot. We have identified some gaps and some enhancement to do in tranSMART. And we have started the development of the RC1 end of last year. And we have released the RC1 few weeks ago, so perhaps one month or six weeks ago. The enhancement of the RC1 was as focused clearly on the search part, what is called browse, in fact, in the Sanofi flavor of tranSMART. And on this browse part, in fact, the main focus has been put in order to really create consistency between what you can search into the browse or the search part and what you can see into the analysis part. And here you have in fact the parallel between the both. So in fact you will see during the demonstration, but in fact you have the capability to navigate through a hierarchy and a tree, when you can create program studies and essay analysis, and you can also put some files or unstructured data, in fact, like you can do this into the analysis part, but for the data part. You have the search that is also synchronized between the browse part and the analysis part, and you can search using a dictionary and ontologies. Of course, you can create the program studies and essay in order to create this kind of organization. You can export also files and information from this part, from the browse, and you can visualize also gene expression or analysis results. So you can see here, in fact, the parallel between the both, and clearly the requirement from user was to create consistency between what you can search on the search part, on the browse in this case, and the analysis part. So we will do the presentation, the demo. And Charlotte, you will do the demo? Okay.
I guess we can see the new tranSMART interface for Sanofi. You have here a tree representing a hierarchy of objects. So here you have at the first level you have programs. If you open programs, yes, it's you can. Okay. Anyway. It's little difficult. If you open programs, you have here a list of studies in each program, and in studies you can have assays. And at each level you can also have folders. I have to find one. You can have here, for instance, folders, and the folder can contain files. So for each object, you can click on it, and you will have its metadata, which are for the most of them from controlled vocabularies or ontologies. And you have also a list of its children, which can be sorted by properties. So for the search feature, you also can search in this tree. So firstly by filtering on properties. So for instance, I can filter in the program therapeutic domain and choose one. So for instance, nutritional and metabolic disease, and I will have all the objects that are annotated with
Can you speak louder?
Excuse me. So you can add several filters. So for instance, for the study phase, you can add phase 1 to search for the studies that are in phase 1. So the several filters are added, and you can choose several categories, several properties in the same category. And in this case, you have by default and OR operator. And so you have all the studies which are at the same time in which are in phase 1 or in phase 2. You can also switch the operator to have an AND operator. So here you have just one study which is at the same time in phase 1 and phase 2. So the first thing can be done in the Analyze tab. So which is the former dataset explorer in the GPL. And you will have here a list of studies. Yeah, a list of studies which correspond to these filters. So if I go back to the browse tab, you can also search by ontology. So I will clear these filters. You have here a drop-down with a list of dictionaries. So for instance, I will choose disease. And I can indicate here a disease. So here I search for the complex disease. So I have here a disease with all its synonyms, and I can choose one. And you have here the results of your search. So you can also on a study here in the browse tab. You can also want to see if you have a subject level data for the study, and if you have, in fact, you will have a link here. Subject level data is available for the study, and you can directly click on this button to access to the subject level data in the Other tab. Okay. You are also able to search for what we have called free text. And here, in fact, excuse me, it's a little difficult with this one. You are able to search for free text. So, for instance, if I type free text, I have to remove the first one, and I will have all the nodes which contains text with here R2. So as you can see here, I have also in this folder in this folder, as you can see, I have not the string, but I have a file here, a Word file. So I want to see what is in this file. So I will export it with this link. I have at the top of my screen, I have an export card. And I will have here a list of files that can be exported. So here I will export this file. So it is in fact a zip file that is exported. Where are you? I will try again. Here it is. So I have my zip file. In fact, in this zip file, I have the same hierarchy than in the bronze. And so I have here my Word document. And if I open it, I find my string R2 that I was searching for. That's it.
That's it? Okay. So, so we had a presentation of what we have developed for the RC1. So we have clearly saw that in fact we are focused on the browse part, on the search part. We need to organize the different information and many also unstructured documents in this part, and really to link the search between the browse part and the analysis part. So we plan to launch also a recent day 2 in order to finalize the tranSMART for the customer in Sanofi. And here we have the high-level requirement that it's currently in discussion, in fact, but we have some elements that can be shared. So one point is to enhance the capabilities to load other data types, so like the RBM data, but currently Charlotte is working with Eugene from Thomson Reuters, for instance, to really have the capabilities to store this data and to use them. So, and also like lipidomics, metabolomics, and also you can see here. So work regarding SNP data for the better accommodation of this, and also to link this data type, example like gene versus protein, for instance. The second point is regarding for some enhancement of some critical data analysis functionalities. And here, in fact, currently what is in tranSMART, it's perhaps not enough, but good, and we have just to finalize some enhancement on this part. Like you mentioned the zoom in, for instance, that could be some kind of enhancement very interesting to have. Also to have the capabilities, and I think it's yes, also the capabilities also to handle better the time in the studies. The third bullet is regarding the better accommodation for odd-dimensional time series, and here to work on the ETL procedure to better improve what has been implemented into the RC1, because a functionality has been implemented in order to handle this time series, but it's not fully ready. Last point is regarding the ability to load data sequentially without loading existing data. Currently, it's not the case. You have to rather than to put the new data. And then the data export option, and some other testing point and some technical point also. We have a security audit that is planned internally in order to see what could be enhanced and if it's compliant with our internal securities, and also some integration that will be done, but more for Sanofi. So now we will present you a second part, not directly the yes, Yann. Sorry?
Will it be possible to see the output of
Yes, yes. I can imagine that we can see what can be changed. And
that would be really interesting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, yes. A first point has been done with Florian. I think he has started something a few months ago, and of course, yes. Based on this, we plan, I think, by the end of this year to have the audit done internally, and of course we can exchange without any problem the feedbacks. So now we'll present another thing. So it's the Hyve tool, the integrated curation environment that will be presented by Charlotte. In fact, this when we have started the pilot phase with tranSMART, we have very quickly see that to load data into tranSMART is not very easy. So we have defined, we have thought that it could be nice to have a tool that really is able to help you to create the different files, the world mapping file and so on, consistently, in order to have the capability really to push, I would say, easily or more easily the data into tranSMART. And we have started by building this, and it's Charlotte last year was building this, so internally in Sanofi, and this tool has been adapted for the Postgres version and released for the Postgres version. So Charlotte?
So just for the quick history, this tool has been developed by Sanofi starting from 2012. Two versions have been released in GitHub last year for the Oracle version. There is also a version that has been created to support Sanofi's new tranSMART release, to load files into our internal RC1 and to load gene expression analysis results. So as David said, there is a PostgreSQL version that is currently tested for UBioPred, excuse me. So all these versions are available on GitHub. So with the link here, so it is in fact the tranSMART ETL repository. And there was also videos that have been created to explain how the tool works. So these videos have not been published yet, but they should be soon. And so far, this tool allows to handle clinical data and gene expression data. So to better understand the benefits of the Hyve tool, you have here a classical clinical data loading workflow. So with the raw data file in a tab delimited format. So from this raw data file, two mapping files have to be manually created. So to describe the decolumns and the terms of the raw data file. And these three files are then created by an open source ETL application called Scuttle, which produce first logs. So a part of the logs is in log files, and another part is in database. And then you can see in tranSMART if your study has been loaded. Just click on the red. So here you can see the benefits of this tool. So first you have a semi-automated file creation, which is really time-saving and which allow to avoid error of constructions of the file. Excuse me. In a second part, you have here a call of the ETL application just by clicking in a button, so you don't have to run it by command lines. There is also a simplified access to logs, so the user have directly access to the kettle log file after loading, and there is also the logs from the database that are displayed for the user. And finally, there is some quality control features. So, for instance, for clinical data, you can see the number of subjects that have been loaded in tranSMART, and you can see for a subject the difference between the data in the raw data files and in database.
Just to show purpose interface.
Just quickly,
So in fact here you will see the video that has been created for the i2 is just to show you in fact the interface. So you have 3 videos. The first one is for the introduction of the ICE tool and how to parameterize and so on. The second one is for the clinical data, and the last one is for the gene data. So this is this one, I think. So we will not go through in detail of this, but perhaps just Charlotte, if you explain the different part of the interface.
Yes. So you have the interface that divided in several parts. So first part here allows to choose for a study that has been created for tranSMART. Then you have to choose a data type. So here, so you can load clinical data or gene expression data. The first one is to load description. So when you right click on a study in tranSMART to have its description. For each data type, you have a list of steps that have to be done here. And for each step, in fact, when you click on it, you have a description on how to use it, and you have here a work zone. And here you can have for a given study and a given data type all the files that are used, and if you click on a file, you have its overview.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, in the interest of time, one question.
Can I ask one? Yeah. So the browser you showed in the beginning, so that looked completely different from the standard one in tranSMART.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 parts of the question then. So why did you choose to create a different one, and are plans to merge it back into the main branch of tranSMART?
So the second one first. Yes, we expect, of course, to merge on the master branch.
Yeah.
And you can already see the code that has been released into GitHub. So you have currently a specific branch in Sanofi,
yeah,
but you have the code, and this can be used. So and of course we plan to merge, and it's more now the question on when and how we can merge. And for the
so why did you change the look and feel of the?
Yeah. So in fact, we receive strong requirement from some users into tranSMART to handle unstructured data files, unstructured files and unstructured data, because we have also a lot of ecosystem around tranSMART into the translational medicine platform we are putting in place to perform analysis. And for some users, the main point was more to focus on this part, on the unstructured data file. The reason why we have organized this through the tree and through these different programs, projects, and essay, but in fact reflect the way that the different units are currently working, and to have the capabilities also to really to put a lot of files and structured files into this part. And to move forward also on this step, in fact, we have linked this part with MongoDB in order to handle all this file, in order to have these big data capabilities in terms of file storage. And this is plugged with Solr for the search, as you have seen it. And of course, it's also one thing that will be presented during the hackathon tomorrow, my Charlotte, how we have plugged, how we have developed the different APIs in order to have the capability to plug MongoDB with tranSMART for the file storage. So in fact, it was from a user requirement to go on this way. And now, as mentioned, the RC2 will more focus on the data analysis part.
Thank you, David.